Master Connectors, we are on here. Let's go.
He challenged me. He said, you should meet 2 or 3 people every day.
We're talking about how to level up on LinkedIn and engagement, being the go-giver, the idea that being open to opportunity.
We're all deal with challenges, but how do you overcome that?
Master Connector with Steve Spiro and Cameron Toth is live on air.
It's such an amazing thing as we step into our power and we understand who we truly are, faults, all the different things that make us very special, and our strengths. And one of the things that I talk about with my staff so often is, can you talk about your strengths? And if you don't know how to sell yourself, how are you going to sell my company, right? And such a big deal. So as we jump into LinkedIn and all these social media platforms, being able to talk about yourself in a way where it doesn't sound like necessarily bragging. My 12-year-old loves to say he's the best at everything, and then like, oh, I can do that better than you. And then tries to do it and then, falls on his face. So we're not talking about that kind of thing where you're just talking out of, but when you own your strength, it's a big deal. We're going to jump into that and a lot more today. Excited to get it in. Steve, you ready to get us started here?
I am ready to rock and roll. What's going on, friends? Steve Spear, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. Yeah. Cameron hit the nail on the head, right? So we all have our challenges, our me, a shy, introverted, picked on, bully, learning disabled, dyslexic. And when I do speak and speak before audiences, I love sharing some of those weaknesses because it's those weaknesses and embracing those weaknesses gave me the ability to feel confident enough in who I am today, right? And I don't hide those challenges. I don't try to fake it. I just say, hey, here's who I am. And when I do that, I become confident and powerful, right? And so my slogan is, in our weakness, there's power. So owning who you are means accepting and embracing all aspects of yourself, including those strengths and weaknesses, the quirks and the flaws, right? It means being authentic and true to yourself rather than trying to conform to some societal or cultural expectations. There's a lot of pressure to do that. And then there's also this other trend of kind of going the opposite route, right? But when you are who you are and you own who you are, you have a strong sense of self-worth. That's kind of what I was referring to before, right? And you're confident. But you're not afraid to express your own opinion and pursue your own passions, right? That is so crucial and key, right? We want to, I believe in, I'm a great listener. I like being others focused, but you know what? We have opinions. And again, not to be confrontational, but it's good to express your opinions because you count, you matter, you're important, right? It's ultimately about being comfortable in your own skin and not seeking necessarily validation or approval from others, right? When I stopped that comparison game, it was a life changer for me. So but you know what? This whole thing is a lifelong journey. But it's a journey that can lead to greater happiness and fulfillment and self-discovery. So we're going to have a blast today. So we're going to hear from a lady, to be honest with you, that truly knows how to own who she is. So she's a great example. So if you're ready for Cameron to introduce our guest, I'd like you to right now in the hashtag, right in the comments right now, because we're LinkedIn participants, not LinkedIn lurkers, not LinkedIn, we're in, right? And again, we encourage people to connect with each other, get in. If you're not in the comments, nobody knows you're there. And maybe that's what you want. But listen, let's participate in life, right? So type in hashtag bring it.
Very much from being shy, that's for sure.
Yes, for sure. So anyway, type in hashtag bring it. And I'm going to turn it over to my man, the man who, regardless, he's always there for us. We appreciate you, Cameron. Turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Steve. I want to shout out, obviously, Yolanda Chen in the comments there. We appreciate you so much every week. so faithful to us. We appreciate you. How do you say that? Somebody help me out there. Go Can, is that it? Go Can, man. We appreciate you. Hello. And Chef Peter Giannini, thank you for being in here. And we appreciate you. Yeah, this is an awesome topic. So hashtag bring it. Get in there. I'm going to introduce. I'm going to put Courtney on the screen here for everybody to see. Courtney Hemsley has over 20 years of hands-on experience in construction, finance, and investment. As a woman in a male-dominant industry, she prides herself on being unique in this space and often says being confident enough to be the different one in a room has made the difference in my success. Courtney's combined experience and the ability to pivot in the forever changing construction and real estate market allows her to relate to her clients' project needs from start to finish, therefore becoming a solution to the needs for builders, developers, and investors nationwide. Please welcome to the Master Connector Show, the absolutely kind and courageous Courtney Hemsley.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm blessed to join you guys, for real. I thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm excited to be here and excited to share on how do we get to this level of being confident enough to own who we are and walk in rooms and make a difference.
Oh, absolutely. Steve, get us started here on this topic.
Yeah. And speaking of ownership, I don't know if it's okay to say, but it looks like you're an owner now, right? You told me about the little endeavor that you've embarked upon. So congrats on that. And
thank you.
So another level of owning who you are, right? So to speak,
yes.
Right? That's awesome. Way to go. Well, we're all about stories here, Courtney. And so community, we'd like you to type in hashtag story because to us, it's, if you don't know the backstory, who cares? That's to me how it is, right? So we'd love to hear a little bit of your story and how you became comfortable being the quote unquote different one in the room. You tell us a little bit without getting too into the
yeah, for sure. Well, it all starts with something. It's typically things that we thought were obstacles or things that were holding us back in life were really preparing us to being these spaces where you're confident to be uncomfortable. Often we want to pull back and go, I don't want to share this, or I wish this wouldn't have happened, or I wish this wouldn't have went down. But really that's what qualifies you and prepares you to be in these spaces, to be confident and to be comfortable. It's just a shift of the mind. But my backstory would be, growing up, hardship, family, no mother or father in our lives at that time, very poor, in a predominantly Black community. So I grew up in what most would consider that identity struggle. Like, where do you fit in? I mean, you're kind of like the oddball out all the time. So how do you fit in? So most often we always want to fit in. We find ways to fit in. But what I found was growing up, all of these areas where I wasn't like everyone else, it was preparing me to be in the spaces now where, as a woman in the construction industry, I walk in rooms 99% of the time and I'm not like everyone else in the room. So those, what I thought were obstacles growing up, really prepared me to be successful today and to be where I'm in and to hold that confidence when I walk in that male dominant room in the industry today.
Yeah. I mean, and I remember having this conversation, you and I, and talking about it. I mean, I grew up inner city, but it wasn't that extreme where like I was the only white dude, like, that's a lot, and it's crazy. And, we were broke, but not like the level that you're talking about. So kudos to you for really just rising above that. There's a lot of people that like to play the victim, right? Oh, me, and instead of being the victor, right? And having the ability to really, just say, hey, listen, these things that happen, they're not going to define who I am. They define what my past is, but I'm going to leverage, I'm going to build off of that. And it's going to motivate me. Me being bullied and picked on drove me to have this major chip on my shoulder to be successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. 100%.
All right. So we're going to move into the next topic, which is, so hashtag how, HOW, community, please. We appreciate you all. Listen, we love our community. We appreciate you. And if you're new to our community, definitely we welcome. And also, by the way, make sure you're sharing this out, right? If you're on live right now, share it out. If you're watching it as a replay, right? Hashtag replay and share it out, right? Because we're about being the light, right? We're like uplifting, inspiring, and encouraging. So there's no agenda here other than, hey, we want people feeling better about who they are. So anyway, back to how. So tell us, how did you become confident enough to be the different one in the room? I know you kind of talked about it a little bit in your story, but now let's dig into the how did you become confident?
Well, confidence, most people often think confidence is a personality trait, but it's not. Confidence is a skill. Confidence is something that you can practice. And it's really, if you look it up or if you read about it, confidence is really the ability to move from thought to action. So if you can get your thoughts in line, and that's practice. It's a skill, just like anything else. It's a skill. Any skill that you have to practice at it. You have to wake up every day and tell yourself something positive, not only looking at the negative. I mean, did I grow up in a positive environment? Heck no, but there was something that I've created positive every day, and I took that one piece of positive and I kept adding to it. So I really, when people talk about, oh, you're so confident, it's your personality. No. It's really a skill. It just like anything else, we just have to practice at being positive. I mean, I'm a natural, joyful person, but it takes practice to, when things are all crumbling down on you, how do you keep staying positive? How do you keep your mind focused? Okay, what's next? What do I have to do? I can't just stay here. I can't be stuck. So I remind everyone when they go, oh, it's your personality. No, confidence is a skill, and it's something that you have to work at, just like anything else. And that's how you get to confidence. It's not a personality trait. It's definitely a skill that you have to work in. You have to put on the work and keep reminding yourself.
That's a great perspective, right? Some of the things that I've been able to do, right? Number one is look at where you were and where you are today, and see how you've somebody gave me advice. Actually, a mentor said, you know what? Take some time and inventory all the things you've accomplished today from all the things you were, and not because a lot of times we inventory where we're wrong or we've done, the bad things, the bad deeds, whatever. Put the good stuff down, and then look at who you are, today, and how far you've come, and that'll give you confidence, right? And then accepting, I think acceptance is a big part also. We talked about it before, right? Just accepting, you know what? It's okay, right? So like, if I'm never going to be as charismatic as my mentor is, but I have different qualities, right? I have warmth. I have, not that he doesn't have warmth, but I'm sincere. And again, I'm not saying he's not sincere, but those are some of the stronger traits that I have, right? And so you could just look at some of those things and not compare, and just feel good about you. Right.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Sure. All right. So let's talk about, because one of our pillars of our show is overcoming obstacles, having the grit to overcome obstacles. So we want to type in the hashtag overcome. And so how did you overcome obstacles to be the successful person you are today? Give us some things that you've done, specific, tangible things, if you could, that has helped you.
Well, I think just first starting off with overcoming obstacles, what I try to, and even when I speak to people and even when I talk about it myself, is, sometimes when you're in the midst of things, it seems like it's so much, it's so overwhelming. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to get to the end of this. But if you just take these baby steps, you're still moving forward. And I ask people when they reach out to me and go, man, I just feel like everything is weighing down on me today. I'm like, okay, take a second and just ask yourself today, what are you certain about today? What are you certain about in this moment? Give me something that you're certain about. And when you break it down, instead of looking at the whole big picture, I have to have it all figured out today and I have to have all the answers today. And you're just breaking down these little certainties and then just keep moving forward. You're still moving in the right direction and you're still getting there where you're wanting to be, but just doesn't mean that the big thing doesn't go away, the big picture.
Right.
But it just, if you focus on these certainties and when I ask people that question, they're like, okay, well, maybe you're right. Maybe I do need to focus on that for the moment. I mean, yeah, you're trying to get to 500 million, but right today you got a contract for 50 million. Like what?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so I ask people.
That's a mic drop moment, right? We got, let me my piece there. The idea and what Steve was talking about before, remembering to not beat ourselves up all the time and think about.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, still recovering from this strep throat as it gets me right in the middle of the sentence. But the idea that, you got to have that gratitude list in the morning as you're getting up and understanding what you're thankful for and what's going well in your life, because we're all going to have challenges. And I guarantee you somebody is looking at your situation saying, dang, man, I wish I had what they had. I wish I had the charisma. I wish I had the house. I wish I had the lawn. I wish I had that car. You're sitting there, oh, man, this car, it's rattling this way. Somebody else is saying, man, I wish I had that car. I don't even have a car, right? And that.
I've heard it be called, we have first world challenges, right? I know this
Right.
a lot of times we get international people, so no disrespect, but a lot of times people from other countries don't have a car at all. They don't sometimes have shoes, and we're like.
I love it, like the arguments. If you guys watch Deadpool and he's sitting there, he's arguing with the girlfriend, and my house was this way, and she's like, "Oh, you had a house?" Like like the whole competition of whose life is worse kind of thing. Yeah. And it's just it brings it back to reality for you when you're sitting there and you're. I didn't get that sale. Business isn't as, I'm not getting as much business as you got business, right? You have, right?
I had a conversation literally with someone yesterday. They were a few days ago. They were stressing out, and when I asked them, I'm like, "What are you certain?" Okay, I get it. And you have a. I think they were needing like $5 million to fill a gap in something in a project. I'm like, you understand a $5 million problem? Most people have a $50 problem or a $500 problem. Like, and it seems
how am I paying for camp this summer with the kids?
But look what you're trying to get a $5 million wrapped up. Most people can't even put their mind around that. They're needing $500. I was like, so really just stop and be like, what are you certain about today? What can you get your hands on today? What can you do to contribute to that $5 million problem that you have today? You know what I mean? So I think if we just stop for a moment, I remind myself of that. I remind anyone else that reaches out about that. I'm like, man, what are you certain about today? What is it that is obtainable today and that that you can get done? Focus on that and then keep pushing towards that goal of what you're trying to do.
Yolanda's got this quote in the comments, which is, absolutely right on. Comparison is thief of joy. You're looking at Instagram, looking at some life. But the other side of that comparison, because a lot of times when I get down, my way to sort of bring myself up is to remember that I got it pretty good and compare myself to, a lot of the majority of the world's population that wish they had the challenges that I had,
for sure,
problems that I had. Right. And so that's something that, so depending on how you look at it, right. Comparison can be the thief of your joy, or it can be the source of your joy, depending on how you're looking at it, because I'm,
100%.
I'm definitely stressed out, 20 times a day on different things, whether it's kids, business, is my technology working, this, that, and the other. But, to put it in, to have that what word am I looking here for, Steve? But
not sure. But I will say this while you're looking for that word. We all have complicated lives. Perspective, right? That's a good one. And we have complicated lives. There's a lot going on. I mean, and it is so easy to get overwhelmed. And you were alluding to that before, Courtney, where how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? How do you, the journey of 1,000 steps starts, 1,000 miles begins with the first step, right? And just attacking whatever you can, a little bite at a time, right? Inch by inch, everything's a cinch. Yard by yard, it's hard. I mean, it's a lot of cliches, but just attacking it helps you get through those challenges, right? For sure. So good. So we want to move into struggle. All right, we're gonna move into a topic here, and listen, we all have our share of them, right? You know, I had some health stuff that I was dealing with, right? And you know, whatever, right? So type in hashtag struggle community. But here's what we want to say or ask, right? How can someone suffering from self-acceptance begin the journey of owning who they are?
You know, when I ask people, have you ever asked people to write down things that they love?
Sure.
Last 3 things. If you were to say, write down or give me 3 things that you love, and you look at their list, most often, I would say 99.9% of the people do not write down self.
Mm.
And how often do we forget about self, whether that's mentally, emotionally, physically? And anything with our struggles, they all start, there's outside sources,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's within us
Sure.
it's within ourselves. And it's this whole picture of mentally, emotionally, and physically. You know, most people focus on one area and then that's it. Oh, I'm physically got it together, or I'm mentally got it together. But there's all 3 of these areas that have to have a balance. And in order to get through your struggles, we all have them. We all get them. I don't care who you are and how you want to pretend like you don't, but they're all there.
Yeah.
The only way to keep moving past the struggles is to start with self-love. I mean, it starts with that. And I know it sounds like a simple, oh, okay, I love myself, but it's something you have to have all 3 of those areas in check and going together. That's, to me, my perspective of self-love. You have to work on those areas. And self-love is, again, it's just loving yourself, giving yourself that time, giving yourself that space, giving yourself what you need so you can be what you need to be to others. And that's a journey in itself, self-love. A lot of people lack that. Like I say, when I ask most people, you know, write down things you love, they'll say my kids, my husband, my dog, my job. But we are so quick to forget about ourselves. And that's one thing that I've had to do these last 3 to 4 years of my life. When my world turned upside down, I went through a divorce. My daughter went to college. Everything that even my dog died that I had for 15 years, everything that I knew and that I thought was my life that made me was gone. And so I had to start this whole new journey. Okay, what does Courtney like to do? What does Courtney like to, I mean, everything had been evolved around everyone else and everything else in my life. And it took, you know, this time of me stop and reflecting and going, what about self? And now that I've gotten through that, most people think it's selfish or ego or what, but no, but if we're not like fulfilled within ourselves, we cannot be good to other people in any, for our work, for our children, for ourselves, anything. So it's 100%. I encourage, now that I've been able to do it myself and realize it was a big missing part of me. And you know, when you're in the midst of it, it's hard to see. But self-love is the most important thing to overcome and get through struggles, because if you don't have that, it's going to be a cycle of not self-love.
No doubt about it. And you know, for some, and you know, not to get religious on anyone, but I believe, you know, we are son and daughters of a king, and you know, we are, you know, and he don't make any junk, right? So if you believe that you're amazing, you're a miracle, I mean, then you know, and if the great creator loves you and made you, then you're worthy of love and you're worthy of your own love. You have to believe that. And I know those are words, you know, you got to feel that in your heart yourself, but I do believe that. And yeah, you are worthy. And when I say you, yes, you, Courtney, you already know you are, but I'm talking about you, the community, you know, and this, I'm talking to you right now. I want you to know you are worthy, right?
100%.
And, you know, it's interesting, right? So, you know, for years I struggled, you know, and you know, I make a joke of it because and Cameron makes fun of me because I sometimes self deprecate myself, right?
Make fun of you. Come on.
He points out that I self deprecate myself sometimes. But you know what? I'm proud, you know, that now I'm a book, you know, author, right? And I got the book that came out. And you know, my mom.
Hold on. Well, let's pause for a moment, Steve. Go buy the book. It's on Amazon
Thank you,
right
Steve.
now.
I love it.
2 or 3. Yeah.
Appreciate that. My mom can now officially be proud, right? She can't say that, she couldn't say that my son, the doctor, my son, the lawyer, but she could say my son, the publisher, the author, right? But no, my mom has always been proud. But yeah, you just got to really feel good about you. And it doesn't have to take writing a book, right? To feel that you love yourself, right? To believe in yourself. But you definitely, you just need to understand that you're worthy, you're great, right? So, but thank you, Yolanda.
That's
You guys
awesome.
were talking about something before, and this is a great sort of point to bring up as you're talking about the book, Steve, that, and this whole, taking care of yourself, but these pieces, they breed confidence, right? Understanding your flaws, understanding your strengths, right? When you do that self-evaluation, when you seek that feedback in a healthy way, right? It breeds this confidence in you, and that allows you to take action on so many different things. And action is always the key. And I think one of the things that's really special about the fact that you put that book together, Steve, is you don't always have the confidence to write a sentence. Here's a guy that, wrote a book. And so, it's that kind of self-evaluation, knowing that I got flaws, this is what I'm going to do about them, and taking that action. That's how we get over the hurdles. That's how we overcome.
Yeah.
Because everybody, listen, if you're watching this, we're always, we're a bag of different problems and strengths and challenges, and everybody's got their stuff going on, but we all manage if we're taking action, we're moving forward, fall on your face and get up. Remember, this is always clear as day, but as my kids are, getting on the ice to ice skate for the first time and telling them you're going to fall down.
Yeah.
It's happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to fall down. You're going to fall down. And then you're going to get up, and then you're going to keep going, and you're going to learn how to do this. But I'm going to fall down. Yes, you have to just sort of accept that in order to move forward in the world. And I think there's a lot of people that are held back because they're just like, yeah, I'm not about this whole falling down thing. I'm not taking that risk. I'm not taking that chance. And so what happens? You never learn how to ice skate, right? You never move forward and learn that new skill, gain that new bank account amount, right? If you don't take a shot, it's a guaranteed miss.
It's back to that the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, which is having either growth mindset or fixed mindset. And that fixed mindset is somebody who's afraid to fail, to make a mistake, right? It's that sort of traditional education system where you're graded on whether you passed or failed, or you're the least amount of mistakes. You got a 98 or 100, and you're rewarded. And if you made a lot of mistakes and you got a 60, you failed. That's not life, and that's not true success. Failure and success are they're brother and sister. They're meant to go together. They're not, it's not an either or. Yeah.
And one thing that I go off on that too is, we're so quick to look at ourselves like, oh, this happened, or I failed at this, or I made a mistake at this. But what we don't realize are these moments, these times, those are what qualify us. Like if we don't have those experiences, how are we qualified to talk to other people? How are we qualified to lift other people? How are we able to connect with other people on those levels? How are we able to share if we've had this straight, perfect handheld?
Yeah.
We're going to be everyone's going to look at you like you're crazy, but what we really, I've heard that saying somewhere that's like, man, do you realize your past, everything that we're so willing to like hold back, that's what qualifies us to be where we are today.
Authentic self. That's the person that people are going to trust and believe, that know, like, and trust, right? Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, we're going to move on to the next phase here. And I think you have some steps here that you spoke about. So type in #steps. And we're not talking about Alcoholics Anonymous, so don't worry. But we want to talk about, Courtney, what are your 3 steps? Cameron likes that. What are your 3 steps of owning who you are? Yeah.
We spoke on one of it earlier, self-love. It all starts with self-love. Often we ask people, what do they love? And they rarely ever say themselves. So you have to work on loving yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically, and putting time into that. Knowing and understanding your identity. what do you like? Who are you? What do you stand for? What are your values? Not trying to fit in, but who is your identity? Who are you? And it's going to be different from everyone else. Being authentic. Authentic means being true to yourself and to others about who you are really. And if you can get those three things down, that allows you to make a difference, own it, and be confident and comfortable in your skin. And no matter what room you're in, what environment, whatever it is. And they sound easy, but they all take work. They all take time. But it starts with loving yourself, knowing and identifying with who you are. What are your values? What do you stand for? And then that allows you to be authentic, be true about it. Okay, I slip, I fall, I mess up words sometimes. I'm not perfect.
Yep.
And that creates just being comfortable in those three areas will allow you to own it and have that confidence in who you are.
That's awesome. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's great. That's there's some nuggets there. Hopefully, community, you're writing down those three steps, because that's gold right there for sure. Yeah. So last question we want to get into, and then after that we'll get into best way for your community to reach you. But we want to talk about #what. So community, write what in the comments right now. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but want to dig on this. Okay, so what is the value of making a difference in your perspective? I have my own perspective, but I'm curious what your perspective is.
The value in making a difference is really, what it says it is. You're different. You're who you are. Whenever you are making this difference, there's nobody like you. Everyone can say, oh, I can do that, I can do this, but until they have to do it, or until they've done it, they don't know. And nobody, that's one thing I love about it. Like, no matter what we try to do similar to others, but we are who we are. We're our own unique person, and nobody can repeat that. Everybody's going to have, oh, do I sell candy? Yeah, I sell candy, but I sell it this way, or I put a little spin on it. So being that, I encourage everyone. That's why I love it in this male dominant construction industry. Walk in a room and I'm the only woman. And this means that you have the spotlight on you. So you better know your crap, first off. But when you can walk in and be different and make a difference, where the shift comes is that when you have that confidence, when you're going in to make this difference, instead of you asking, do I fit in here? Am I in the right room? They're looking at you and going, who is that? What are they about? Sure. Because something's different about you in that room and in that space. So that shift comes when you can walk in those rooms with that confidence of owning it, where they're asking who you are instead of you asking who you are and how you're going to make a difference, is a big step on what you do to make a difference and how it makes a difference in your success in your career, for sure.
Steve, I just want to give this quote from Yolanda: "Never let the fear of striking out get in your way of playing the game." From Babe Ruth.
Love that.
He was the home run king, but he was the strikeout king too.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
100%. Yeah. Sure. Yeah,
I think it's really interesting when you talk about that competitive advantage piece of it, right? So, if you come in and you're the same as everybody else, that's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're competing on price. We're competing on, apples versus apples. But when you can say you have a competitive advantage, there's something that's different about what you do. That's the best.
Right.
Because you can, whether it's the 20/80, Pareto rule, right? These clients are actually clients that, are going to make me money versus the rest of these guys out here that are going to waste my time, kind of thing. It's so great to understand who you are, own it, and dominate exactly what serves you, and serve exactly who you can best serve.
Yeah. I want to take a slightly different spin on making a difference piece, right? So in one way is kind of being different and standing out, but the other part of it is what's your legacy? Like right now, Courtney, you're showing other ladies, perhaps you're inspiring them that maybe they could also, do something, maybe not in construction per se, but being in, in an area where they could dominate in a male dominated world, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe it's somebody who's a male and it's a female dominated, and vice versa, right? Whatever. But so we all make a difference. And I believe that couple things. Number one is true success is how many people are better off because you are here.
Oh,
And to me, that's the difference that I want to make here. I want people to be better off. I want people, I believe mentorship is a big part of that, right? It's
Sure.
your legacy that you're leaving behind, right? And okay, you're on this earth, right? You made money, you got a house, you whatever, you did these accomplishments. But when you die, what's in your dash, right? The date from when you were born to the date you died. What's that dash, and what kind of difference did you make in between those two places? And does it live on beyond you and your time?
I was giving this quote this morning to the guys new that's in my office, and we were talking about, just some quotes and money quotes, because he's got a copy of Profit First, which is a book that I highly recommend if you haven't read it, in terms of organizing your bank account system and that sort of thing, and making sure that you're getting the profit first out of your business. The idea that, the more money you're going to make. And so same on this theme, in terms of your impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
We make more by serving more people, and the better we're able to serve them, right? That's a big rule out of the Go Giver, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, same advice, right? The more people you're able to serve, more income you're going to make, more impact you're going to have. So finding those ways to, not only, serve the person next to you, but, take that and really distribute it, similar to what he's doing today, jumping on a program versus, just talking to somebody over the phone today. Hopefully we're going to reach the many versus just a few. And by serving more people, we have that greater impact and are able to attract. Because another money thing that I thought was really, really important when you talk about going out in the world and you're selling your product, you're networking, you're connecting with more people. Money is attracted. It's not best won by being pursued, right? It's attracted. I thought that's those, just some wonderful superlatives when you're thinking about how you're going to go out and approach the world, how you approach talking about yourself, selling your business, networking. These are universals that I think just every time, if you're thinking about things that way, you're going to do better as you go out.
Yeah, like you said, the Go Giver book, which is a big part of the being others focused, is one of our pillars of our show. And that when I started to shift to being, because I was this guy that was so wounded, the only thing I could think about or care about was myself, because I was so broken. How could I fix or help others? I couldn't help myself. But once I healed myself, and actually the healing became I didn't just, okay, I'm gonna get all healed up and then I'm gonna help others. No, I started to heal up a little bit, and then the more I helped other people, the more it healed me, right?
Yeah.
I heard it say
a lot of times, when you're in that, because people think they have this mindset, like if I'm healing, I can't express to others, or I can't. But a lot of times that helps you hold yourself accountable for what you're sharing with others for yourself. Like if you're hearing it, it's going out. Okay. I can encourage somebody else. Let me put it into play. It's a reminder to myself to stay on track. So for sure, 100% on that.
This has been great. We could go on and on. This topic is near to, I think, to Cameron and our hearts, and sounds like your heart too. So, but please tell us tell our community best way to reach you. Any call to action that you'd like for them, for you, and we're going to close things down.
Yeah, anywhere, LinkedIn, everything's just under my name, Courtney Hemsley. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, everything's just under my name, Courtney Hemsley. Website for my company, it's Empire Development Solutions. It's www.empireds.net. You can check out everything I do there with services and those type of things. And I just appreciate being a part of such a great topic. I think something that everyone needs to hear as entrepreneurs, as a business person, as a mother, as a father, as just a person in general. I mean, I think if we break it down, we all have to have ownership of who we are, and we have to be confident in that in order to succeed in whatever we're needing to do in life, and feel good about it, for sure.
100%.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Well, so we're going to close it down. If I don't have a chance, I know Cameron's a dad. Happy Father's Day this coming weekend. We honor the men in our lives, that, and it doesn't have to be Father's
Big weekends, lots of activities this weekend. Yeah. Stay hydrated, my folks.
But sometimes the men in our lives could be, mentors, and, because, not everyone has their father with them. My father passed, maybe I think 5 years ago. So, But there's men in our life, and maybe it's women, but that have that fatherly figure. So please make sure to celebrate and honor them this weekend. Have a good time, obviously. But and if you are your father, we honor you, right? Appreciate you. So thank you, Cameron, for being Papa.
I'll take that. I'll take the bow for all the dads out there.
There you go.
Listen, we're excited. Same bad time channel next week. We got Ram Iyer, who will be with us. Silent Killers of Success is the topic of the show. Get into the comments. Click on that. Register for next week's show. We'll see you there. We're excited about that. We're going to count down.
And thank you, Toth Event Staffing. Thank you. All
right. Yes. And listen, we had a big weekend this weekend. We had staff out for everybody that's local to Westchester, Connecticut, Wine and Food Festival. We had about 18 staff serving out there this weekend and rocked it out. Got great emails back from our client as everybody celebrated at the dam. Great weekend for Toth Event Staffing, even though I was down with strep throat, which was
the power of a team. It still went down, and you got great kudos.
Sales still went down, right? We got our systems and processes in place, so it still worked out. Yes. All right. So we're going to count down to crush it as we always do, my folks. If you want to type in the comments with us, Courtney, we're going to put our hand up like this and count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Crush it! Go out there and have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Courtney, for playing along.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
We'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.